Yeah, very interesting person, Gräfin Arco, who was working in a spin-off, or is the managing partner of the spin-off from E.ON, the electricity company, and they have created a company to build up wind turbines or windmills for everyone. And what that means, I think she will tell us right now.
Thank you. Thank both of us and to b.ventus for the warm welcome and for inviting me to the conference. You already mentioned the title of my presentation, and to be honest, the topic is very, very dry. But at the end, it will result in really good benefits for your own company. So maybe that's good. But because it's quite dry, I tried to use less slides and we'll have more time for questions afterwards. Some words about me before I start with the presentation. After 10 years within E.ON, I decided to found my own startup, a spin-off out of E.ON, and this was almost 4 years ago. So our start in 2017 seemed to be really successful. Good PR, famous newspapers wrote about us. They wrote quite positive about us. We had a really strong shareholder structure. For example, as I already mentioned, E.ON as one of the biggest energy company worldwide. We already had a well-working prototype after 2 years, which is quite fast, and a customer pipeline of over 500 customers. However, talking about successes seems to be quite easy. And to be really honest, we had to file for bankruptcy roughly 4 weeks ago. And this was not because of a cash problem or a problem in demand. It was just because severe disagreements between our shareholders. However, the demand is such high that I really believe that such a huge demand clearly shows us that we found a niche in the market and we didn't stop with our idea. So let's face the problem we faced 5 years or 4 years ago when we founded our company. We faced the problem that the energy prices for industries are rising and will rise in the future, at least for the next 10 years. Of course, there are already clean, decentralized energy solutions. However, those solutions which already existed in the markets, they need subsidies to be economically. And it's when you need subsidies for an investment, you are dependent on a regulatory system. And that's always not good when you're dependent on a regulatory system when you do high investments. Of course, there is wind, but as you know, the wind, is 200 meters high and it's too large and too noisy to build up next to your building. So remember the wind turbines from the 80s and the 90s. They are not as high as those 200 meters wind turbines. And with those mid-sized wind turbines, actually you can lower your energy costs by almost 60%. And this is driven by a really high amount of real-time self-consumption, because with wind, you can produce energy during day and night, and not only during day, like when you use PV. And this results in a really good return by almost 20%. And the good thing is, this is all CO2 free. And those figures, this is the second good thing, those figures are not theory, those figures, they came from our prototype customer. Now you think, wow, from where does this really big amount of savings come from? And the point is that the increasing in energy prices comes from the high amount of taxes, subsidies, and grid fees. And with the higher the level of self-consumption is, the bigger will be the saving in your energy prices. And this is the clue behind our idea, more or less. And the second questions you maybe ask yourself is, okay, but I already invested in like a PV on my roof or a CHP or other decentralized energy sources. But the good thing is that wind is just an element in a green energy puzzle. For example, wind and sun, they are balanced each other during the day and during the night. And when the sun shines, the wind is calm and vice versa. And this results again in a higher level of self-consumption. And the higher the level of self-consumption is, the higher are the savings of your business case. And so the business case becomes more and more attractive. So at the end, wind is just an element in a green energy puzzle. But talking about theory is quite easy. Therefore, I just will show you a case which we developed for a customer of us. And this is a municipality. And the municipality, they own old NATO airport field, and they would like to build up a data center there. And this data center needs a high amount of energy, 20 gigawatt hours, and they would like to have it, would like to be autark in their system. And actually, our solution is a green power system, and we solved those challenges. We reached the 100% autarky. Wind was one driver because wind produces energy even during the night. And we have also other decentralized energy sources like PV, batteries, and CHP. And we reached to balance those sources together with the wind to reach this autarky. And we also can deliver the power to the business park, which will be next to this data center. And the wind helps us to reduce the need for an expensive storage like batteries, because batteries are still quite expensive today. And this results in concrete benefits because we have 100% autarky. The energy prices will decrease by over 50%. And we will avoid more than 12,000 tons of CO2. And as you can imagine, the customer was quite happy, and they will now use this business case and try to build it up like we proposed. And yeah, do you see such benefits for your company? Then I will be more than happy to get into a dialogue with you. So if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer your question. Hopefully it was not too dry.
It wasn't dry at all. It was actually pretty interesting. And even though it was a bit shorter than we expected, we can come along with questions from the audience because the people understood how it worked. For everyone who wasn't here when I explained it the first time, there is a box just right side from the main stage where you just type in your question, you send it in, and they end up right here with us in the studio, just like that, just like now. So maybe you'd ask just the first question, won't you?
Yes, I would like, and I think this is a very interesting question which comes from the audience is, in your opinion, what are the biggest hurdles for deciding in favor of wind power? It's a very...
I would definitely say the processes around the permissions within the authorities. This is a problem in Germany, I guess, and I think it's a general problem. It's kind of the efficiency of making decisions in authorities. And I think everybody already gets in touch with that.
Okay.
I think that's an aspect we've heard before already,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. In one of our lectures, we had the same topic, that the issue of getting something done, especially in Germany, without hurdles, is sometimes not easy, to be honest.
Takes long sometimes.
Takes quite a long time.
Then we have the next questions. This is a question in the direction of politics, I guess. Do wind turbines have to be subsidized more to be available for what we said as a title, for everyone? What is your opinion on that?
Actually, I think subsidies are good to start with innovations, to give them a push, but when they reach the threshold that they good for the market, and wind already reached that threshold, then I'm against higher or longer subsidy systems, and I personally would prefer a CO2 tax as an instrument.
Sounds interesting. I guess a lot of the people that are watching us right now might think about having wind power for the first time in their companies. What would be their first steps now? I mean, we had already the difficulty in having a decision done, but when they really want to get information about that, where should they start right now?
Even the turbines are smaller than the normal turbines, from the big wind field at the northeast. However, you need space, so you need at least there need to be some space. So you can't build up the turbine within the city. So this is the first step would be: is there enough space?
Space is a topic, right? But I think the turbines get smaller. Like, do they get smaller, or can we expect them to become smaller so that wind power can be a solution for companies, or maybe even like everyone, what we call everyone, to have on smaller ground?
Yeah. It's not like everyone. It's not like that you can build up the turbines within a city. But like in the business park, it's no problem to build up those turbines.
Okay.
All right. Okay. There was one question from my personal side. Can I build? But you answered that. Can I build on my ground in my home a small turbine such as solar power? But I think you answered already that question.
There exist such turbines, but to be honest, they are not economically.
Okay.
Because the wind is too low in that sizes.
All right. Then there's another question from the audience. When saying yes to install a turbine, how would be the process? Is it from starting, and how long will it take to be finished? If everything runs 100% without having the problem of the permissions.
If everything runs 100%, we had that case with our prototype customers, and then it was from really the first dialogue till the end, it was like 5 months.
And you mentioned in your speech that that wind power can only be a piece of a puzzle, and it should be combined with solar power as well. Does it have to be like that? Like, do I have to do both, or is there a chance to just go for one of it?
It's just you can do it, but it's not a must. Normally, the business case becomes more and more sexy, more attractive, because you will save more money, because the level of self-consumption would be higher. Or sometimes you are 100% autark, and then you save a lot of money, but it can also be a first step or the only step.
I'm excited to see how many people of our audience are thinking about that now, and how many might approach you afterwards to get your help in just making a decision towards eco-friendly energy. That would be awesome. Would you mind if I ask you just a general question, like about you participating here on this event, because we have some time left, and I would like to know what you thought when you've been approached and asked to participate here. What was your first reaction? What did you think?
I really like the idea to do it virtual and not to cancel it during those strange Corona times. And I was quite happy that I have the chance to be a participant, and I recognize that I am just one of 2 women who participate at the conference.
Yeah, that was not by accident, no. Yeah, I think it's more about the industry, which is quite fixed, but I think everybody is welcome.